Hello guys, welcome back to Super Guy Boy Show, and today, yes, I know it's the month of Halloween and it's been since like two videos, which is basically like 3 to 4 months since I last talked to y'all. For the most part, I've been sending y'all like short films through those like last months, and I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry for summertime not really being the time of me making that many videos, but really I was just taking more of a break from my YouTube channel and just, going with the flow with myself. Not really anything too serious. It was just me just taking a break from my videos and just doing my own thing. So I'm sorry if y'all have been missing the videos I've been doing. I know it's been a long time since I've done these types of videos and mostly just short films, but hopefully y'all at least enjoyed the short films. But let's get into this video. It is the month of Halloween, and I thought it's no good time than ever but for me to name some of my favorite horror movies. This is just gonna be a basic, video for y'all to enjoy this October, since it's basically the start of it. I'll be trying to release more than just two videos this month. I'm gonna at least give y'all some more than two videos this October. But for the most part, this is gonna be the first video this month. It's gonna be me just naming some of my favorite horror films and whatever. It's gonna be mainly just some of it. Really, I know I'm gonna be forgetting a lot, so that's why I'm putting the word some of it in the title, because I'm gonna just be forgetting a title later on after I release this video or whatever. And I just hopefully hope that y'all enjoy this video and y'all have any suggestions for any other video content I can do this month, since it's the month of horror and October and Halloween and all that. Just put it down below and I'll pretty sure to make a video on it, and hopefully y'all enjoy this video. So yeah, let's get started with some of my favorite horror movies. So for this first movie on my list, it may be a bit of a surprise for y'all, but I would like to include Jeepers Creepers as just one of my favorite horror movies. It was not only one of the first ones I saw when I was little before I got into the whole horror movie genre later on, but it also has something that I love in it, and that is like a twist. When I saw this movie for the first time, I didn't know anything about the Jeepers Creepers franchise. I didn't know nothing. When this movie reaches to like around the 30-minute mark and then it just shows the twist, it gets to you. So what I'm basically talking about is that if you're someone who's never seen the Jeepers Creepers movies at all and don't know what the hell I'm talking about, completely skip this part of the video. I'll be leaving a timestamp right here, because if you have not seen the movie or know anything about it, watch the movie right now, because when that twist happens, it hits you. So yeah, here's the timestamp and I'm about to get ready into it. So the reason why I love this movie is because of the complete turn it takes. The first 30 minutes is this like killer car movie, almost like Jewel or something like that, where these teenagers are getting hunted down by this like crazy truck driver, and we think, oh, it's just gonna be like Jewel almost, until it takes this twist where we find out that the driver has been driving a truck filled with dead bodies. And when we go to this like place where he puts the bodies at, we see these stitched up bodies, and then we find out that the driver himself is a fucking monster creature thing that is like, it just hits you, because you think it's gonna be going this way when it goes to that way. You think it's gonna be this suspenseful like killer car movie, and then it completely goes into a B movie. Like, I love it when movies do that, where it takes a twist where it mainly changes the genre of it halfway through the film. I love it when movies do that, and I think that this movie does it exceptionally well. I also love some of the scenes, like the part where Jeepers Creepers these cops while his theme song is playing in the background, and the whole scene of him like taking out the tongue of the cop, it's done so well, especially with the cinematography. It has this creepy atmosphere, especially at the last part of the movie. The third act at the police station is done so well, where Jeepers Creepers comes in and just kills everybody in the dark. And it's just done so well. I think if you've seen the other sequels, this is kind of like ruining the suspense and twist that this movie takes. But I think this movie, it's left an impression on me because of how so much of a turn the movie takes because of that. It's done so well, and I hope that this movie still holds up to me to this day. It has this nice creepy atmosphere to it, and I just don't see myself ever hating this film. And it's just a great movie that I think does get kind of underrated when people do talk about some of the best horror movies, because this one definitely, I think it's been taken down because of the redundancy of the sequels and all that. But yeah, this is a great movie, and I hope all of y'all see it. Our next two movies on this list is Evil Dead 1 and 2. And let me just say this, that these are just some of my favorite movies of all time, with Evil Dead 2 just being my favorite horror movie of the 80s. It is so well done, but let me get past Evil Dead 1 first. Evil Dead 1 has this campy, amateurish quality to it, but at the same time, you kind of get sucked in because of that quality to it. I don't know how to describe it. It's a surreal movie, nowhere as surreal as Evil Dead 2 draws you in at first, and then you completely get sucked in once the tree scene happens. This movie gets gory pretty much quick, like in the first 30 minutes of the movie. It gets gory quick. The music in this one, surprisingly, is really good. It builds up this creepy atmosphere, and the last 30 minutes of this movie are just fantastic. A lot of the shots in here are still great, and the special effects in this movie, I think they still hold up by today's standards. Surprisingly, they are great. They are done well, and the blood and gore of these movies, they're still horrific. There's not this B movie quality to it. They feel painful. You pretty much feel it, compared to like Evil Dead 2, where it's just pretty much ridiculous. But whatever. Evil Dead 1, it's great. It's a great horror movie. Just watch it. Now, Evil Dead 2, it's just stupid. I love this movie because of how so surreal, horrific, and funny this movie is. It has this quality to it like the Eric Andre show before it came out. Like, it has that quality almost to it. It takes this comedic aspect where it's like this slapstick comedy, but at the same time, there's a lot of like horror elements to it. I think the best part is definitely the fight scene at the end with Harrietta, and then the first 10 minutes just completely does a remake of the first Evil Dead, and it's just like, what? These movies, I just love them because of how so fun they are, especially Evil Dead 2, which is just a complete surreal experience to watch. Like, it may not be like that for most other people who are used to like A24 like movies, but this movie for me, Evil Dead 2, it's surreal for me. I remember hating on it the first time I watched it. It was like long ago when I first saw it on like El Rey's Creature Feature Fridays. I don't know if anyone else watched that, but I remember seeing it. I remember completely hating on it until like I think 2 years later, my brother like bought it from a DVD. And I just fell in love with this movie and the first one too, because I never seen the first movie before I saw Evil Dead 2 on El Rey. But they're both just fantastic movies. They still hold up to this day. They have a great atmosphere to it, and I give them a big ass recommendation. Like, completely watch them, buy them, whatever. Just watch them. They're great. The next movie on my list is Jaws. It's Jaws. I don't think anyone's gonna argue that Jaws isn't the best shark movie to this day. No, not Sharknado. No, not any of these weird ass sci-fi movies that I watched a long time ago that I was a complete fan of. No, I'm not counting those. Jaws is still the best shark movie to this day. Now, why do I think that this movie's a horror movie? Yes. I know some people may not think that Jaws is a horror movie, but I think it is. I think it has a great build up to it. It has a lot of suspenseful parts, especially with John Williams's theme for the shark. It's so well done. It builds this build up where the characters, of course, a lot of the shark kills are off screen, but it just adds so much to it when you're in. It adds to your anticipation to when you see the shark finally in all of its great glory. Which, by the way, we don't see the shark until like, I think like the last half of the movie, which the last half of the movie doesn't fit really that much to the first half, which is the first half is this kind of slow, paced build up and suspenseful, B movie, and then the last half is just this adventurous, let's try to kill the shark type of vibe, kind of like what Nope did, but I think Jaws does it so much more better. In my opinion, Jaws is great in a lot of ways. especially the last 20 minutes of the movie. They're just the best part of the movie. It may be a little slow by the first part, but it just does a great job at building it up, and it just does the part where the last 20 minutes just elevates it so much more better when we finally get to see the shark, which the shark still looks great by today's standards. I know some people may think it looks fake, but to me, this shark still looks realistic to me. It looks great, especially the part where Brody is like getting sunken underwater, and we see the shark just getting in the boat as he's about to get sinked in, or the part where the captain's getting eaten by the shark. Like that part still was just it completely freaked me out when I first time saw it. Or the part where they're investigating this like sunken ship and we see the head of a corpse. That part I remember scaring the shit out of me. That I remember we couldn't watch the rest of the movie that day. Still, Jaws holds up. A horror movie to me, yes, and I say watch it because it does a great job at building itself up, and it's just a great movie. Now, before we end this video off, I'm at least give two honorable mentions for horror films that I recently seen that I do see being in my favorite horror films of all time. The first one I'm gonna start with is The Lighthouse. If you haven't seen this movie, I'm not gonna spoil much because it's just a movie that's just worth seeing. Watch it. It's great. It's these two characters who are forced to be in this like lighthouse, it's like, like we usually people used to do back then with lighthouses, and that's basically all I will say about this movie because this movie is insane. It relies on a different type of horror, more that psychological type, and sure, it may have some issues with it. Mainly there's one little scene that I don't like, but I'm not going to get into that because this is a movie right here that I don't want to spoil at all. It's just great, and go watch it. It is, in my opinion, one of the best horror films in like recent memory, in my opinion. The next one is Nope. And Jesus Christ, is this fucking movie way more better than what I thought it was. I remember the first time hearing about Nope and seeing the trailer for it, thinking it was just gonna be like a copy or like a basic alien movie, but it just became so much more. I'm not gonna get into much with Nope 2, but I'm gonna just say it is something that I haven't seen much horror films doing in a long time. Maybe the third act does get a little weird, but other than that, this film is just great overall. It's shot very well, the special effects are amazing, and there is just scenes in this film that are just downright scary and like anxiety inducing. And yeah, just watch it. It's also a great film that I do see as being in my favorite horror films of all time. And that will just be it for this video. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. I know it's like probably going to be the only video on October, but either way, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Hopefully y'all got some recommendations that y'all are going to check out because these films over here, all of them are great in my opinion, and just check them out. And yeah, hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. Have a nice day, and yeah, see ya.